Yes, yes, I get you. I get it. But yeah, I mean, just I'm representing L'Officiel, which is a French luxury lifestyle publication, which we manage in the Middle East for the last 12 years. And so, yeah, looking at you, I can understand fashion is very close to your heart as well. And we also represent watch time. So I'm looking at your watch as well. So it's
Not good for the, it's not bad, it's bad for the, if you get robbed.
no, yeah.
Mind you don't get robbed in this country,
In
do
Middle
you?
East, you don't have to worry.
No.
You don't have to worry.
You have to worry in London.
Oh, I know. I know. We've seen the stories. We've seen stuff happening. But yeah, it's a beautiful.
I'm thinking
watch.
about getting a Rhodesian Ridgeback. Do you know what that is? It's
No.
a dog. It's a huge dog.
Okay.
Walk around with one of those, see who wants to come and nick your watch.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you're very stylish yourself.
Oh, thank you
Very
so
well
much.
groomed.
Thank you so much.
Very handsome. Don't worry,
Thanks
I'm
for
not
the
making
compliment.
I'm not making a pass at you. I have a wife.
So do I. Thank you so much for your kind words. Yes. No, excellent. And yeah, looking at Sadaf was great. And thank you for having us at this beautiful venue as well. And just wanted to meet you and understand in terms of, the entire brand seems to be getting reimagined, and how you're looking at it going forward, and what new can we see or expect going forward?
That's a big question. I can't tell you what you're going to see in the future, that's for sure. What I think we have to sort of just pull back a little bit from where we were as a business a few years ago, because I think there was a bit of confusion as to what used to be called Jaguar Land Rover is and was. And I think what we've done over the last few years is clarify that and as we start to reimagine the business, because in the past we called ourselves Jaguar Land Rover, and Jaguar was a small part of the business which will be completely reimagined. And then Land Rover as a brand was hiding the two crown jewels within it, which was Range Rover and Defender. And the idea of the house of brands, Range Rover, Defender, Discovery and Jaguar, is the vision to create and make these brands unique to each other and therefore unique to customers, and really amplify what is special about them. So that's what the reimagined strategy is all about. And to actually do that, we have to come from much more of a brand perspective than what has been the norm in the automotive industry. It's much more likened to what you would see in the luxury world, in the luxury industry, whether it's leather goods, fashion, watchmaking, jewelry, whatever. And from a brand perspective, those businesses do project themselves in a certain way that amplifies the uniqueness of them and the desirability of them. So part of my role is not just responsibility for the design of the vehicles, but the design and the creation of the brands, working with our marketing colleagues and our communications people. But for a long time, our business has been very fortunate in that, we had Mr. Tata, who's helped us get where we wanted to be, and also the cultural revolution that we went through to put creativity right at the centre of the business. That realisation that actually design isn't just about creating pretty cars. It's about creating brands and brand stories that are highly desirable, that will have the ability to not only enrich people's lives, but make good business. And to a certain degree, that's what it's all about. And this here is what we're calling a Range Rover House. We will do more of this, where we travel the world and we invite very special customers to come and see what we're doing with the brand in the brand world, but also with the vehicles right at the top of the scale, as it were. So that, you know, that's the sort of gist of it. In terms of Range Rover as a brand, I mean, it's got a unique heritage. It's been around since 1970, which isn't that long, really, in sort of, when you think of some traditional luxury brands, but it's still, you know, a fair amount of time. What is it, 50 years? 54 years. And it's always been known for its uniqueness. There isn't anything really else like it. It is peerless. It was the first, you know, complete luxury SUV, although by today's standards it wouldn't be perceived luxury. I mean, back then it would have been, but not by today's standards. So it does have a unique heritage, it has certain purpose, it has certain values. And of course it's always been known for its design. You know, you might argue the first ones are a bit quirky, but it was the first vehicle ever to be shown at the Louvre in Paris as an exemplary piece of industrial design. So design is one of our pillars of strength. So in terms of our associations with events or with partnerships or with storytelling, that's our anchor. But it's also about the total experience, where we're trying to get to a much higher level, so that when consumers interface with us, it's pretty clear what we're about, in terms of, you know, when you think about the multitude of creative applications we use now, whether it's social media, app, web, the built environment, product design, accessories, all those things are coming together to help amplify the uniqueness of Range Rover. And we'll do the same with all the other brands. I mean, Defender is equally as compelling, but in a different way. It has different values. In the same way, Jaguar, which is being completely reimagined, because from a product perspective, Range Rover hasn't had to go through the massive transformation that Jaguar is having to go through, because Range Rover has just evolved. Each generation it gets better by virtue of the design enabling technologies and by being true to that DNA, which we continue to evolve, and that's what makes it peerless. But Jaguar, on the other hand, is a complete rethink. So when they come in 2 years' time, a year and a half's time, they will be quite striking, and people will actually probably be quite shocked, in a good way, we hope. But then, as a luxury brand, like all of luxury brands, we don't have a desire to be loved by everybody. In fact, we try and be loved by everybody, you'll fail. Yeah. So part of what we're going through as a business, we're also going through internally in terms of our culture, in educating our own people as to what the values of this modern luxury positioning is, which isn't one thing, you know. Is this a luxury environment? Yes. Is it completely a Range Rover modern luxury environment? No, but that's because we've come in here and you know, we don't own it, but eventually we will create our own buildings that will manifest the absolute total optimization of those brand worlds. But people have been coming here and they love it. It's a great place. So that's the gist of what it's about. Clearly, it's more complex than that. It filters through everything. It's even in the world of sales, you know, in the automotive world, traditionally car companies love to talk about how many vehicles they've sold. You know, we sold 1 million, blah, blah, this week. Have you really? Yeah. I don't want one then. They're as common as muck. You know, seriously. So, and we know that luxury brands are very clever at creating the perception of rarity by holding things back. We don't necessarily want to do that. We need to be fair to our customers, but it does take a certain amount of time to order certain vehicles. That is getting better, and I think there is a limit to how long a customer should expect to wait. But there again, I don't think, you know, at the top end, luxury consumers want things instantly. Some do, but some actually, that desire is built by a certain amount of anticipation. So all those sorts of things are being very well considered at the moment.
Nice. No, fantastic. And as you mentioned, it's more about storytelling and, so do we see Range Rover House or, the other brands going into some sort of a deep bespoke, not only regular bespoke, like something like a coach building or, starting from scratch up, maybe taking a few years to develop a particular car. Do you think it's heading in that direction?
Well, clearly there's a massive appetite for bespoke. Whether we get to the point where we would do, one-off total new designs, that's a completely different business model. And that is incredibly complex. But, what we've been doing here with customers or clients, where they've come along and they might have some fabrics, they might have a colour. I met this Indian gentleman last night or the night before who loves mandarin, that orange, almost like a Hermes orange. And he had some ideas about what he wanted to do with the car. But we'll help curate a perfect car for him that he will love and will be unique to him. But it also be something you'd be proud of and you won't be fed up of in 5 minutes. So I think, that is absolutely a big area. And, a lot of customers, they want a Range Rover. They don't want it to be totally different, but they just want it to be unique to them. It's a little bit like the watch. If you've got a special edition or a 50th year anniversary, it just means a little bit more, but it doesn't undermine the integrity of the brand and of the products where there's more of them. Sure. Yeah. So, but yeah, the pure build from scratch is that's a tricky one, because you've fallen asleep, Paul. You're going to be talking. Think about it. And there's people that would be, when you bring Range Rover to market as a brand new vehicle, you're talking sort of, £1 billion or whatever. If you were talking about bringing a one-off car, building it from scratch and everything that goes into it, you'd be talking a lot of money. Now, there are people around that can afford that, but I'm not sure we are about that. I think we don't want to bring more to the masses, but we want clients to have the ability to